Secretary for the Department of Transportation and Development, and I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Transportation Talk. Given the extreme rich history that we're going to get today, we'll probably break this up into a couple of series so that we don't expect you to sit in front of the television or the computer for too long of a time, but we've got a very exciting guest. The last couple of episodes you met our transportation chair from the House and the Senate. And today we've got another historic figure here at the Department of Transportation. And it's a name that many of you may not know, but you will know after today. Mr. Sidney Spight happens to be most recently 80 years old, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
And he happens to be the first African-American business owner to earn a competitive bid and work with the department. And so as I sit here looking at the importance of our DBE program and look at the importance of minority participation in the work we do, I thought it was a really interesting story to highlight and to hear, perhaps from his perspective, how far we've come as a state as well as an industry, and just to appreciate some of this history. So welcome to DOTD, Mr. Spight. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, and it was a pleasure being here with you, and I'm thankful to have the opportunity of speaking with you.
All right. We spoke on the phone a couple of months ago and said this is worth documenting, and so thank you for coming in with some of your family to spend a little time with us today. And thanks for helping enrich our history, because much of what he told us we've not been able to document in our normal kept materials, but we have some of that history, and so you're here with us. So tell us a little bit about who you are and what business you were in several years ago.
Well, originally I came here on Hurricane Camille from Memphis, Tennessee. That's what brought me to Louisiana. That was the fall of '69.
I was born in '69.
So that makes that a while ago, huh? And we were going to work, storm work. Hurricane Camille was one of the worst storms that hit before Betsy. And we thought, well, maybe we go down. Things were very slow in Memphis at the time. And maybe we go to Louisiana and Gulf Coast and see can we get some of that work while we trying to find something new on this end. Came down, and the winter was so mild and everything. So, man, I think I like it here. So we wound up in New Orleans, started doing more work in New Orleans than we did in storm work, and we kind of developed in anchoring down in New Orleans. And we got associated with some of the bigger contractors. We were already in erosion control contract, and that's what we mainly done, seeding, highways, and landscaping in Memphis. So we met up with a few of the leading contractors, Bow Brothers and T.L. James, and the ones that was in leading.
And you're still operating today, actually.
That's certainly. As a matter of fact, Barry was Gaines P. Wilson Construction Company at the time. They hadn't even named their company Barry Construction at the time. We started associating with them. But we were accepted by the general contractors very well. So we hooked on, and we basically done most of the seeding in South Louisiana during that time for several years.
Now, I suspect that were there other minority-owned or African-American-owned firms doing work with the department at that time?
Well, hardly none, because the way the highway department is broken up in its stages, you bid the whole thing to bid it for a general contractor because it's in unit prices. And you have to be able to do that whole unit if you intend to get a subcontract from those bigger companies. Just about everything that was being let in a general contract was too big for most of the black contractors. They had a lot of truckers that was hauling per load for the general contractor, but they was getting paid every week. They didn't have a contract. So that was the main reason that it's been and still is. It's hard for minorities to break through that barrier because of the bonding and the insurance and the financing and the, you name it.